Oh, hello folks. This is Steve AB4M. Got the window open. Hot summer day already. You may hear some traffic. I'm just finishing some cantaloupe. You want a bite? With what's going on in the world, eating this cantaloupe reminds me of some of my adventures in Israel many years ago. These cantaloupes are very nice, but I remember a different kind of melon that you might mistake for a cantaloupe. Ogen melon. There you go. Google search knows what it is. You can see that the outside is orange and green ribbing, but it doesn't have the coarseness of a cantaloupe. It actually has a better flavor, and cantaloupes are good. It has an even better flavor than that. And this was especially developed at Kibbutz Ogen for export market. More money, especially if you can export to London, for example, at a time when the local melons are not available. And this is such a superior taste. Now, they did have a lot of seeds, but you just scoop them out. They were smaller than the tip. Oh, how do I know this? I can't tell you how many hundreds of them I harvested. Seed savers. They sell heirloom seeds. Ogen melon, organic. There's the price. Now look at what it says. Although this variety is most likely of Hungarian descent, I agree. This melon is generally identified with Kibbutz Ogen in Israel. Ogen is Hebrew for the anchor. I was on Kibbutz Ogen in 1972 to learn Hebrew, but you did Hebrew half the day, and half the day you worked in the fields or something like that. Then it goes on to say that melons were developed and domesticated in Africa and Asia. Europeans settling in the Americas are recorded as growing honeydew and cassava and some. Why did I say I agree that this is most likely originally derived from a Hungarian melon? Because I knew the man who developed it. He was a kibbutznik on Ogen. Actually, he received the Israel Prize for developing this because of the export income that arose from it. Not only Kibbutz Ogen growing them, but other kibbutzim that joined in the effort. Because there was a demand in Europe for that kind of fruit in off-season. Kibbutz Ogen. Where's the map? There we go. Is there a problem here? You know, yesterday there was a big outage involving some of the big names. Look at that. The Google's, the server finally came through. Oh, look at that. Satellite view. There's the kibbutz itself, which is now privatized, not socialist, everybody owns it all together. You can see it's still surrounded by agricultural field plots. I used to help grow corn in this one here. Here's the highway. See Ma'abarot? That's a kibbutz, was a kibbutz across the road, also privatized now. See how they're facing each other across the old coastal highway? Why would they do that? Would it be so that in times of danger, since they were direct allies, they could control who could pass that point, especially if they were hostile or there was an Arab army invasion? If you have lots of agricultural fields, an army that's on horses or mechanized is going to move by road. You need to be able to control the roads in addition to making your new home. I came to Ogen from Ena Haresh, over there. The other side of it was Givat Haim. You notice there's two kibbutzim straddling the road? When Ogen, which is where I worked in the fields with the Ogen melons, think of what's going on in the Middle East now. These people got out of Europe at the worst time from Czechoslovakia, the original group. Community was established on 22 April 1939 by Jewish refugees from Czechoslovakia, maybe even from Sudetenland. And why would that be key? Why would they get the hell out of there and come to British Mandate Palestine? Could they see the future of Nazi Germany demolishing Czechoslovakia by invasion? After spending 8 years in a camp near Kfar Saba, which is nearby, they were working at anything they could get money for. Factories, farm laborers, unloading coal ships. They founded the kibbutz on 28 August 1947. And notice the way the Hamas lovers have changed the wording. On land that had belonged to Wadi Kobani. They tried to make it sound like it was stolen. It was bought for cash. Bought for cash. Legally in British Mandate Palestine. And the Jewish National Fund, who made the purchase in coordination, provided 700 dunams. A dunam is approximately a quarter acre. So about 175 acres of land for the kibbutz. Now, here's something important. See how nice it looks? Well, there were no trees there then, but for a different reason. And when they went on the land, that first day, when they had the deed and they were given the go to go, watchtower and stockade in Israel. There's a Wikipedia article, Tower and Stockade. When the original group went onto the land the very first day of their future home, the trucks arrived, everybody got out, and they assembled the prefabricated watchtower and stockade. Can you think of anything in American history that is similar? Westward expansion And who was it protection from? The raiding who? So-called Native Americans? Many kibbutzim, the first day when they went on the land they bought and owned, did this. Why? So they wouldn't be murdered in the night. Think about what's going on now and what has been going on since October 7th, back away, and what happened there to places that didn't have their old watchtowers and stockades in place because they thought they were safe. The melon is probably of Hungarian descent. I knew the man who developed it by hybridizing seed that he did bring from Hungary with other melon varieties until he perfected the Ogen melon for flavor and handling and growing, adapted to the Sharon plain of Israel. And it was seen as a prize for export for extra money. He won the Israel Prize for it. He was a Hungarian Jew immigrant. And I knew him. We all did. He was a great guy. And we worked in the fields. You see, you were on the kibbutz to learn Hebrew in the Ulpan, half day. And then the other half of the day you worked in the fields, cultivating Ogen melons, among other things. I can't tell you how many of them I've had to eat, or how many of them I've picked, or how many weeds I've pulled. And eating the cantaloupe made me think of it. Steve AB4, just reminiscing, thinking about what's going on now. Having been there for the October War in 1973. Saying see you in 73.